We've been a leader in banking for more than 100 years. You'll find us here, at home, on your phone, and everywhere you go. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Sponsored by Renaissance Bank.
Good morning and welcome to Daily Journal Newsbreak. Today is Wednesday, May 16th. I'm your host, Chris Kiefer, and we're going to take a look at the top news and sports stories from Northeast Mississippi. But first, let's start with your weather forecast. Today we're looking at rain with a high of 92 and a low of 65. Looking ahead at your 3-day outlook. Thursday, more rain, that's a 50% chance with a high of 88 and a low of 66. Friday and Saturday, looking at partly cloudy skies. Friday, the high is 90 and the low is 66. And on Saturday, a high is up to 93 with a low of 68. Let's take a look now at today's top headlines. Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant is among a group of 7 governors who are backing President Donald Trump's nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize. In a letter sent this week to Norwegian Nobel Committee Chairman Berit Reiss-Andersen, Bryant and the other governors cited Trump's transformative efforts to bring peace to the Korean Peninsula. The letter follows one from 18 U.S. House Republicans who formally nominated Trump for the award earlier this month. The nomination comes as Trump prepares for a historic summit with North Korea's Kim Jong-un. Other governors to sign the letter included South Carolina's Henry McMaster, Guam's Eddie Baza-Calvo, Kansas's Jeff Collier, Alabama's Kay Ivey, West Virginia's Jim Justice, and Maine's Paul LePage. The governor's letter came amid reports from South Korea's Yonhap news agency that North Korea was canceling a high-level meeting between the two countries due to ongoing military exercises by the U.S. and South Korea. A report released this week by federal officials states a 2016 plane crash that killed 6 members of the Oxford community was caused by a mismanagement of the fuel supply. On August 14, 2016, Drs. Jason and Lee Faris, Dr. Austin and Angie Poole, and Dr. Michael and Kim Perry were flying from Florida to Oxford after returning from a dental conference. Jason Faris was piloting the small private aircraft. The crash happened near Northport, Alabama at approximately 11:15 that morning. The National Transportation Safety Board report states that after close inspection and investigation, the twin-engine Piper appeared to have no reason to have malfunctioned while in the air. The report says the most probable cause of the crash was the aircraft's fuel mismanagement. That led to fuel starvation of both engines. The NTSB said it is likely the pilot failed to switch the fuel selectors to tanks that contain fuel while in flight. There was enough fuel in the plane's outboard tanks for about 1 hour and 45 minutes of flight. Normally, this is when the fuel source would have been switched from the outboard tanks to the inboard fuel tanks. Federal authorities are involved in a case against a Kossuth middle school coach who has been charged with 5 counts of secretly photographing for lewd purpose. The case involves the attempted production of child pornography by Micah McKay Wilbanks, according to an affidavit from an FBI task force officer. The 29-year-old Wilbanks is now in federal custody. The affidavit was submitted to the U.S. District Court in Oxford. The federal complaint alleges Wilbanks violated U.S. law that pertains to attempting to use minors to engage in sexually explicit conduct. Wilbanks allegedly used a phone that was designed in California and assembled in China. Using material shipped or transported in interstate and foreign commerce to produce sexually explicit images of minors is a violation of federal law. And in sports, Smithville and North Pontotoc both lost the opening game of their state championship baseball series on Tuesday. North Pontotoc lost to St. Andrews 4-3 at Trustmark Park in Pearl. St. Andrews scored all 4 of its runs over the first 3 innings. North Pontotoc closed within a run, but could not get enough timely hits. The second game of the best-of-3 series is on Thursday at 4. Smithville lost to Nanawaya 13-5. The Warriors scored 6 runs in the 4th inning and added 5 more in the 6th. The second game will be played on Friday at 1 p.m. Meanwhile, East Union opened its best-of-3 series against St. Joseph of Madison today at 1 p.m. And that does it for Newsbreak on this Wednesday. Don't forget that this show is just one of the many online offerings courtesy of the Daily Journal that gets you news off the page and on the go. Each story discussed today on Newsbreak can be found in your Daily Journal or online at thejournal.com, where you can also find a new episode of Newsbreak each weekday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Kiefer. Have a great Wednesday.